problem until I didn't have drugs.
Do you think that there was, and I'm not being a conspiracy theorist, it's proven that in the 80s the CIA was bringing cocaine into the government, I mean, into the hood. We all know that happened.
Crack.
Is it?
It was crack.
Crack. Well, they were bringing cocaine in and they gave the recipe.
No. Cocaine was common. Cocaine was that shit. They
gave him the recipe.
Crack. Yeah.
They gave him the recipe was made at USC. But they were bringing in large sums of guns and cocaine and giving them the recipes for crack and then doubling them. But if that was to get them hooked on that, is it possible that they did the same thing here to get like the rest of the country, like suburbia and the white ladies and all that shit hooked on everything? Because it's basically what happened.
I mean,
it's just like a plan. Seems to be planned
out. Don't attribute like anything that can be like to a conspiracy when it can just be tied back to corporate fucking greed.
Well, you say that, but they did that already. You know what I mean? In South Central Los Angeles in the 80s with crack, they did it already. So I'm saying like it seems like the same kind of play.
Yeah, but I mean that was more about funding fucking CIA black ops and also systemically oppressing a population. I mean, we're talking about here. I think there's a pretty good fucking paper trail of people trying to cover up the fact that, hey, all of these magic opiates have all the other fucking drawbacks of every other opiate, including fucking heroin that people have known about forever. Right. Like they were telling doctors that were prescribing this shit that, oh no, we made a magic opiate that isn't actually addictive now, and like people bought that shit.
I can tell you right now, if it wasn't illegal and it wasn't hard for people to get that didn't have money and there wasn't like crime associated with it, I don't think heroin's that bad.
No, I mean
not anywhere near as bad as the pills.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, opiates in general, I think the biggest problem with opiates is what happens when people don't have opiates and they're used to high doses.
Yeah, that is it. That is it for sure.
I'm not advocating that anybody like go out and develop a fucking drug problem, but like in terms of negative consequences, as long as you're not like fucking ODing, it's like being on opioids doesn't have the worst fucking negative consequences. It's not like even fucking alcohol, which will like destroy your shit if you drink too much over like a moderate period of time. Like your body can get used to heroic fucking doses of opiates as long as you don't fucking fall out. There's not too much long lasting health ramifications.
You know, there's that one smack. First of all, welcome to the show, guys. I'm glad everybody could make it. It's the week of March 28th. You're watching Stopgap. We got a lot of fucking news to cover, but I figured I'd give you a little glimpse behind the curtain instead of trying to wait until Graham says something outlandish and starting right before he says it. Actually, Concrete, I was trying to catch you. I was trying to hit that start stream button because I saw where the conversation was going. I tried to catch. I wasn't a drug addict until I was out of drugs.
Yeah. No,
there's some dude who's been doing smack for like 20, 30 years that's like mainlining straight fentanyl right now.
And he's going to be absolutely fucking fine if it wasn't for the withdrawal. If your body can handle that amount of opiates, it's not like it causes any real, like in a vacuum, it doesn't really cause any long-term health effects. It's like the fucking lifestyle that ends up getting people, because withdrawal sucks.
But I know. We got so much fucking news to cover. Holy shit. Like, just off the top of my head, without even checking the news, I got fucking 9 things that we need to talk about.
God, it was a fucking disaster this last week.
It's such a fucking clusterfuck. Oh my God.
Everything is fucked, and we're gonna start rounding up journalists now.
Oh my God. See, okay, so you already know what's first on my thing. It seems like Trump is using Erdogan's playbook. Like he must have got a hold of Erdogan's playbook, because he says that, man, I don't know. I never imagined myself saying this, but he said that the FBI agents who investigated him were treasonous, and that the investigation was an attempt to overthrow the government.
I'm saying if that's a new standard, I just personally, not even from a political standpoint, but because I dislike his stupid face, I want to see Trey Gowdy in Guantanamo Bay.
But yeah, so he's insisting that this entire investigation was treasonous. I mean, it very well might be. Like we honestly we don't know, and it's to the point where like with the next elections coming up next year, we're just giving too much attention to him. We're giving him too much airtime, and like everybody's trying to catch him on something, and I'm like, why don't y'all start worrying about your shit? Like, like the Democrats are always they're so focused on trying to catch him on something to try and fucking get him on something, but they're not focusing on their shit. They're not focusing on, hey, we should probably win this next fucking election for the sake of the people and the sake of the Special Olympics.
But yeah, that is a big point. That's what's been most interesting to me out of this is there has been a really unified amount of people who do want to see the report. Because to me, what I'm interested in is like, okay, if the report clears them, it clears them. Like that the crazy part about this is, okay, you had an investigation that we don't know what the answer was of. Let's just see what that is. That's due process. That's literally like the point of us being a democracy.
Yeah.
As like the fucking leftist, whatever the fuck, like I get that a lot of people are like really disappointed, and I'm like really disappointed because like it's been like a really nice like focal wedge issue, because like it's really hard to convince people that they shouldn't support somebody because his policies are fucking cruel and atrocious, and his government in general is just incompetent, and like but when you tie to something that specific, like that's a really good thing to hang your hat on. But like with all of that said, and with the amount of crow that I should be eating for thinking that, hey, there's something fucking fishy going on there, I would really like to see the explanation for this idea that
and the issue is that it wasn't like a grand jury, it wasn't Congress, it wasn't the House that discerned this. It was the Attorney General, an appointee by Trump that said, who's the one that said, no, there's no collusion in this report.
Well, and I don't think it like leans too far into like any kind of conspiracy theory, because I think it's stuff that's out there in the public record, and some of it was actually released by the fucking Trumps themselves about like that fucking meeting in Trump Tower where they take the meeting saying we have dirt on Hillary. Like, how do you explain that in that context of that saying, oh yeah, nothing happened, it's fine?
Everyone has dirt on Hillary. Not accurate.
That's a good. You're not wrong. But Vape Ross Vape, you bring up a good point, and it's not even like fucking porn stars. The president, when I was a child, got a blowjob in office, and they were like, we should kick him out. Like he didn't even he wasn't even paying people off. He just was like, yeah, I'll take a blowjob. That's cool.
That's a direct rebound from John F. Kennedy that was doing all the same shit.
Oh, dude, John F. Kennedy was the worst of the worst.
They published the Starr report and sold it as a fucking paperback. That's all I'm saying.
It was juicy.
And the Starr report started out as an investigation of the Clintons' mysterious fucking real estate deals in Arkansas, and somehow it ends up with a published book about Monica Lewinsky blowing the president.
Anybody heard of Mena, Arkansas? We were just talking about that. That's Clinton was a gangster, dude.
Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah. You don't get to that level of government without being a gangster, which is weird because there's minimal amount of dirt on Bernie. His wife did some shady shit apparently, but like he himself, has stayed fairly clean in such a long tenure in politics.
But at the same time, he's also 80.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he might be 80, but that just shows that like he's had 80 years to get into real shady shit. But for some reason, they can't find anything on him.
Well,
they can find plenty. They can't prove anything.
No,
they know that,
My favorite part about Bernie is like all these fucking like oppo dump things that they're trying to scare up. Like he said this in this year, and it was spooky and it was socialist, and like he'll just come back and say yes, I meant that.
Like, yeah. What do you mean there shouldn't be healthcare for all? What do you mean we shouldn't send our children to college and not bankrupt them for the rest of their lives? Like,
you can only go to Trump College.
Yes, I do want to shut down the private insurance industry.
yeah, like he might say some wild shit that we go like, that's kind of anti-American, but he fucking stands by it. He doesn't try and weasel his fucking way out of it. I mean, in that sense, he is a lot like Trump.
But
where Trump says some shit, where like, yeah, well then again, Trump has backpedaled on a lot of shit and just completely flipped a 180. I don't know.
He's allowed to change his opinion.
Yeah, but like when you're changing your opinion,
wasn't he the one asking for Obama to get investigated to see if he was born in Kenya, and like asking for his fucking birth certificate, and then an investigation starts on him and he's like, this is treason, I'm the president, you can't do this. Like,
it's also, I mean,
you can change your opinion, you're expected to change your opinion. What we're saying though is when Bernie goes back, he will say, yes, that was my opinion at the time, while the vast majority of people go, no, you're lying. That was never my opinion.
What I want to see, because there are so many moderate voters that are fucking lost. We don't have a candidate.
And we never will until we change.
We never will until one candidate stands up and goes, I'll take that dude from the other party as my running mate.
Yeah, it's that or it's prelims.
I think the time is right for a cross-party running mate. Someone to win the fucking Democratic or the Republican primary, but I don't expect it to be the Republicans, because this presidency has shown that they're spineless. Like this it really just has, because they were standing up for something. They were saying, no, Trump's atrocious. He's a terrible person. We can't do it. He won the primary, and all of a sudden, everybody was fucking tugging him off in a fucking bathroom.
How many?
Didn't John McCain? Wasn't he? Didn't he?
Yes.
Right. It was
John McCain.
Lieberman?
John McCain had the intentions. Had every intention to run with a Democratic running mate. Yeah. However,
and then he took Sarah Palin.
His party wouldn't allow it.
That's been a weekly theme of the show.
Desperation.
Yeah, we talked about this last week, because like
we talked about this literally probably 4 weeks ago.
And that's also on the list. So I guess I'll make it 10 things, because I didn't think to add this one, but Trump's still talking mad shit on a dead man. Like
But no, related to that, what I'm more like amazed about, and I think backs up your idea that right now Republicans are, at least in office, are lacking a lot of spine, is the amount of them who completely flip-flopped over, no, we're going to do everything we can to show all of you what this report details, to now this week, nope.
Yeah. That's just, man. There's just too much going on, man.
I mean, I think there's a bit of lionization for the Republican Party, like in the post-Goldwater era, like holding off. Well, they used to be better, but like Iran-Contra was still a thing, man. Bill Barr is the same guy who helped a bunch of those people fucking get away with it. Like,
and then speaking of that, we back out of the deal with Iran for arbitrary reasons.
It's a horseshit deal.
Like, no, it wasn't. It was a good deal.
I don't even know what.
It opened up discussions with Iran, which, if honestly, Iran has more power than Saudi Arabia. Like they do, and they're more Iran in itself is more like America than Saudi Arabia will ever be.
It's Persia that was all.
I mean,
Iran was Persia.
We helped depose like
3 leaders in a row.
Yeah, and like some of those were actually like fairly, I guess, westernized leaders.
Yeah, the entire Shah revolution was our fault. The reason that Iran is radicalized now is due to U.S. interference. But
I think it's because of Cheech and Chong.
The problem is that we backed out of the nuclear deal. Our president backed us out of the nuclear deal because he said that it was a bad agreement. Yet they're discussing giving nuclear secrets to Saudi Arabia, who has never stood by any fucking agreement with the United States ever.
No,
funded terrorists, the fucking Wahhabist kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Like
if you think Iran is actually radical, you don't know anything about Saudi Arabia.
and now they're busy just killing as many Yemeni citizens as possible.
Yeah, like
Yemeni citizens, American journalists, take your fucking pick. Saudi Arabia is killing all of them because they're getting away with it. When was the last time you heard about fucking Khashoggi?
It's been a minute.
It's been a fucking minute, and that's because Saudi Arabia gets away with what they want to get away with.
Hey, is that the fucking Moscow Mule Cup right there? Is that
that's the
what's
Moscow
going on?
Mule, buddy. Actually, this is the Irish Mule, Jameson.
Okay.
Jameson in perfect or proper 12.
How is proper 12?
It's just like a cleaner Jameson.
What's the pricing like? Is it comparable?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was 39 for a 750.
Did he just
fucking McGregor?
Yeah. That's
hold that cup up real quick.
The liquor store owner discussed it with me. He was like, "Have you ever tried Proper 12?" Nice. And I was like, "I don't even. Is that a drink? Do I mix that? Because like I'm Scotch, but for St. Patty's Day I bought a bottle of Jameson." And he's like, "Yeah, let's go. It's what McGregor drinks." And he's like, and I was like, I mean, I'm down to try some Irish whiskey. I'm not a big fan of McGregor, so I don't know what he drinks. But...
It gives him the superpowers to get smashed by Khabib.
Was that an Iran joke?
No.
Yeah.
No. That was an MMA joke.
Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm kind of a MMA guy now, or at least a UFC guy now, and I don't know how my life took this weird turn.
It's fun watching people in their peak physical prime punch each other.
I know, right? It's like such. I mean, and granted, like they have like all the fucking trappings and shit around it, but like there's something refreshing about some good old fashioned blood sport.
It really.
That's why I watch hockey.
And the best part is there's no chance for the judges to fuck it up like in boxing.
They still fuck it up if it goes to decision. That still happens.
Yeah, they can. Okay. Yeah, they can fuck it up, but how often does it go to decision?
I think it depends on the weight class mostly.
Yeah.
Because like if anything over fucking lightweight and over goes to decision, it wasn't a great fight.
Well, no, because like heavyweight won't go to decision because that's a boxing match. Heavyweight, they're all about punches. And then featherweight won't go to decision because it's all about wrestling. It's all about groundwork. It's all about submissions. And then you got that golden area with the welterweight and the middleweight where it's like these guys put both in, and it makes a fucking real interesting fight. That brings up a discussion I had with someone at work. Who would you take? Who would you put money on if we had Ali in his prime fighting Tyson in his prime?
Tyson all day.
Tyson would fucking murder him.
Tyson would have knocked him out in the second round.
No. You got to remember, Ali was a quick heavyweight.
Ali's style.
He didn't have power, but his style was to avoid getting hit and draw it out because he had better conditioning than the other heavyweights.
Well, Tyson's style was to knock you in the motherfucking face as hard as he possibly.
So
Ali
they're directly countered. You got to think about it. Ali would be able to dodge these punches, and every missed punch that Tyson throws is getting him more and more gassed. It takes a lot more energy to miss a punch than it does to land a punch.
Right, but think about Tyson and the way that Tyson hit so hard that it was probably the equivalent of like four punches from anybody else.
True.
And Ali's style was to take a punch. Ali's style was to not necessarily miss the punches. It was to take the punches. That's why he ended up with fucking that Parkinson's. If you watch his fights, he would take punches for 11 rounds, and then the other guy'd get tired, and then he'd fuck him up in the 11th round, almost every time. And there's no way he could take that kind of punishment from Tyson. Just no way at all.
Well,
I don't think.
I think the other thing.
Well, Tyson didn't win any fights that went past like the second round.
Tyson all three of them.
Tyson wasn't as much of a brute. Like I think everybody's view of Tyson's kind of characterized by like his like late period fucking wackiness, right? But like Tyson was actually a fairly good technician in that like his fucking head movement and shit was actually on point. Like he was a technically sound boxer who also happened to hit very fucking hard.
But he didn't have the conditioning. He wasn't well conditioned. If he didn't end the fight in the first 2 rounds, his chances of winning dropped by like fucking 60%.
That was late in his career. No, he didn't need to. Nobody could. I mean, what fight went past the second round, third round in his early career? I don't think there was any. I mean, he knocked the fuck out of people. Like first he had them beat before they came to the round.
I don't know. I think it depends. The entire fight would depend on the first 2 rounds, as I've been saying. If Mike Tyson gets in good shots in those first 2 rounds, it's over. But if Ali's able to avoid just a fucking slugging match with Tyson in those first 2 rounds, Ali's got the fight.
Yeah.
What was their respective reaches? Let's see. Muhammad Ali, what was his reach?
I think Ali had a significant reach on him and height, I think.
See, then even more of an advantage.
Yeah, but see, I don't think Ali could have got it because
78-inch reach on Ali, and then because Mike Tyson, isn't he kind of stout?
Yeah, he was like, I mean, he was tall, but
5'10". He was tall. He was 5'10". He was my height, dude.
Well, he's taller than you'd think he was.
Ali was 6'3". He had 5 inches height on.
Here's what you got to do. You got to compare. You got to compare Holyfield to Ali, because Holyfield learned how to fight Tyson. He figured out Tyson. He was a Tyson cheat code. The problem was that he would headbutt him every time he would go. You have to go in on Tyson. You have to get low on him and come in. If you're a tall guy, you go in and you get small and you come up and you explode on him. But the thing is he would headbutt him every time he did it. That's why Tyson ended up biting his fucking ear off. So if Ali could do that, maybe, but I don't see that happening. Ali was
I'm still going Homer pick Ali all day.
Okay,
you pick Ali?
Muhammad Ali had 7 inches of reach on Mike Tyson, dude.
Yeah, I just feel like, and then like a lot of the
and hold on, and the way to beat Mike Tyson was to get in close because you don't want to get hit. Another good way to not get hit is just keep putting out fucking jabs
not with Tyson.
At reach.
Not with Tyson. He would jump off his fucking foot and smack those fuckers in the face. He could get in quick on somebody that tall. That was his advantage. Like look at Bruce Seldon, all these guys. Like they're huge guys that had massive reach on Tyson. He just explodes on them because they're not used to. I don't know what it is, but he was small and he could just pop.
Oh
yeah, Tyson started to fucking believe his own hype at a certain point too. In late period Tyson, I think, is who fought fucking Holyfield. Late period Tyson wasn't nearly as dynamic as early period Tyson.
Have you listened to like his thoughts on that? Like why he doesn't work out anymore? Why he's gotten fat?
No. He's back in shape, by the way.
No, because he said like if I go in and I spar someone, I start getting in my own head again. I start saying, "You're the fucking best in the world. You're the greatest in the world. You no one can fucking touch you. You're untouchable." And he said that's fucking terrifying to him. That was that was the downfall of his entire thing. Yeah, Tyson now is super humble. And I watched an interview where he talks about that. I think it was actually on Joe Rogan, because say what you want about fucking Joe Rogan and the JRE, where there's a lot of outlandish shit. He's
cool as fuck.
He is probably the single best interviewer.
Yeah, you're right.
Around, like, period, including like news media, print media. He's probably the single best.
It's the number one podcast
because he's not just interviewing people doing his job. He's interviewing people and he actually is interested in the shit that they say. He's not just interviewing them to get answers. So he can pull a lot more out of people because it becomes like he's passionate about what they're saying as well. I'm not a huge fan of the show because they do a lot of weird shit and just the amount of influence it has over people. I don't really trust that, but I will watch a Joe Rogan
You know why you can do that?
interview any day.
Because he only has people on that he's interested in, for real. Because it's his shit. Because he did a podcast and he gets it funded and he answers to nobody. So that's media. That's going to be media in the future. I mean, it really is. I mean, he's like an example of how things are going to go. You know, when people can fund their own shit and not have to answer to sponsors.
We got the chat talking about something else.
That's never a good sign.
George Foreman.
Foreman, another one.
Foreman or Tyson?
Foreman beat Ali.
Foreman.
I mean, Tyson walks on fucking Foreman. No fucking question.
If you want to keep going, then let's go super old school. Let's go Joe Louis.
Okay.
Fucking Gentleman Jack Johnson.
Fuck you, Sonny Liston.
Okay, who's Hayden Panettiere's husband?
I gotta go with the good old Detroit boy.
Wasn't he some sort of giant hockey player?
No, boxer.
She was so hot when she was...
Dude, she's still fucking hot. You shut your fucking mouth.
I wanted you to finish the sentence.
Vladimir Klitschko.
I thought he was a hockey player.
No, the Klitschko brothers.
Was she married to a hockey player at one point too?
No.
Huh.
No, it's not him. It's his brother. It might be Vladimir Klitschko.
It's Vladimir and Vladimir. I believe they're both named Vladimir.
Vlad and Vlad.
Oh, no. Vitaly Klitschko, I believe, is his brother. But Vladimir Klitschko versus Mike Tyson.
I have no knowledge of Vladimir Klitschko.
He's one of the best.
That was already a thing.
boxers
Tyson
around.
knocked the fucking shit out of him.
Really?
That was already a thing.
It was? Oh yeah, he was boxing in the 90s. Yes, it must have absolutely been a thing.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it was Vladimir or Vlitko or whatever the fuck, but I'm pretty sure Tyson knocked the fucking piss out of him.
Oh yeah, no, you're totally right. Yeah, he's the one with Hayden Panettiere. I wonder why the fuck I thought
it was like his last fight. I think
hockey Russian.
Okay,
because he looks like he
There's
should
a quote from Freddie Roach, who trained both the Klitschko brothers and Mike Tyson. Vladimir hits very hard, harder than Tyson. At one point, they ran 12 800-meter sprints, each under 3 minutes, with a minute rest between each one. I timed everyone, and it was under 3 minutes. I never saw a heavyweight do anything even close to that. Speaking of the Klitschko brothers, they worked their asses off to be able to do that. 250-pound guys, the two of the best athletes I've ever trained. Okay, Tyson Fury. He fought Tyson Fury. I don't think he ever fought Mike Tyson.
No, I'm pretty sure he did. One of the brothers, one of the Klitschko brothers. And Freddie Roach he had a vendetta since Tyson was like 12 years old. He like put a gun on him when he was like 11 or some shit.
Who?
Is it Freddie Roach? That wasn't Freddie Roach. It was who was the one that was Mike Tyson's trainer forever?
Yeah, he KO'd Mike Tyson. Vitaly Klitschko. Oh wait, no. Danny Williams KO'd Mike Tyson in round 4, and then Klitschko beat Williams.
I think he fought Klitschko too.
We'll see.
I'm pretty sure.
See. There's only one mention to Mike Tyson in Vitaly Klitschko's.
It might be Vladimir, is what I'm saying.
I just checked Vladimir's Wikipedia. He didn't.
Why am I remembering that? Why do I? What the fuck?
Tyson Fury beat Klitschko.
I don't know who Tyson Fury is.
He was an undefeated heavyweight.
I stopped watching after like the 90s. Yeah, like maybe early 2000s.
Hold on.
I went to like every heavyweight
no,
fight in the 90s.
Tyson was in his prime in the 80s?
90s. Late 80s, mid 90s.
Okay, his comeback was in 1994.
That was from jail. Then that was early. He had a huge career after he was in jail.
Undisputed.
He fought Holyfield.
Undisputed champion in '87. So he was more late '80s. He didn't really do much in the '90s, and Klitschko was more late '90s.
Oh no, he was definitely in the '90s. No, you're right. You're right. Tyson wasn't. I guess like Holyfield and Michael Moore and Riddick Bowe, guys like that. That was like more the '90s. But Tyson was definitely relevant. He came back in the late '80s. I think
he
like
lost
90s,
twice to Evander Holyfield in a row.
I was at that fight where he bit his ear.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't see Klitschko on his record.
No, really, he did. I swear to God, I remember that.
No, because these
Mandela
other fights
I'm
are
telling
fucking.
you, dude.
These other fights are 85, 86, 86,
No, I'm
87.
thinking it's more in the late 90s.
We shifted dimensions.
His first fight in the late 90s was Peter McNeely. McNeely was
Okay,
disqualified after his manager entered the ring in the first round.
And then it was like Bruce Seldon, Tyson Tillman, Tony. I'm thinking it's like later in
Bruce Seldon
the
was
90s.
his last win before 2 losses to Evander Holyfield, and then he beat Francois
Bothwa.
and then there was a no contest against Orlin Harris. Tyson fouled him and was not able to continue.
I think that was in Mississippi, because he got banned from fighting in Nevada.
That was in Nevada.
Really? So he gets banned from. When was that though? Because he got banned from fighting in Nevada after the Holyfield fight.
99. He probably didn't get a lifetime ban because he went.
Yeah, he probably
because it was June 28, 97 that he bit Evander.
Yeah.
And then January 16th, 99 was the next time he was in Nevada.
Same year?
No, 97 to 99.
790. But there was fights in between where he fought like in Mississippi and places like that.
Not on his Wikipedia.
Really? I wonder if he got barred after that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about all I know about boxing.
He didn't.
That's crazy,
He
though.
didn't fight Klitschko.
He didn't fight Klitschko. I have that memory. I swear to God, it's clear. I even see Klitschko in the corner, like holding his eye and shit.
Let's see Vitaly Klitschko's record. Let's see what.
That's crazy.
Is. 45 wins, 2 losses to Mike Tyson's. What is it? 50 wins, 6 losses. So, that might be close, Vitaly Klitschko. Let's check Vladimir. Let's check Vladimir Klitschko.
Welcome to the new Celebrity Fights Boxing Edition.
Oh yeah, dude.
Podcast.
I don't know why. We just really enjoy. I don't know. We do enjoy blood sport on this podcast. We really enjoy blood sport. That's an official statement. I'm gonna make the official statement. We enjoy blood sport. Vladimir Klitschko was 64 wins, 5 losses. Like, I don't know if Mike Tyson would beat either of them.
Okay, I'm just saying Gaethje versus Barboza. Who you got?
I don't know either of those. I don't know what those people are.
Oh, they're fighting on Saturday.
Oh, you're just trying to get gambling advice from us.
Yeah. I have kind of a problem, and I'm hoping that you morons know more about it than I do. So let's do this.
So Betsy DeVoss is defunding the Special Olympics, or trying to defund the Special Olympics.
Yeah, like, people are freaking out, and like, I get it, like, she's fucking terrible at what she does, but like, it's a fucking presidential budget which never fucking go anywhere. And I think it's just like more emblematic of the general philosophy than any kind of specific outrage. I just think, like, if you're gonna pick some policy pillars to fucking hang your hat on, maybe don't pick that one. The optics aren't great.
Wow, you're a piece of shit for saying that, man. I love the retards. That's my running platform.
I don't know. To me,
put that on campaign signs.
No, don't.
I love.
Or I'll punch you.
I love the retards.
No, like this pisses me off just because obviously I hate Betsy DeVoss. I've hated her for a long time, but I also used to work the Special Olympics, like growing up doing poly hockey. So it's like all of those things of like.
Oh, so you actually love the retards. Mine was just a bit. That's sick.
So, like, presidential budgets in general, just a way to lay out like some broad-based policy goals with the idea that they're going to be completely fucking ignored. I just want to know, like, who thought it was a good idea. It was like, okay, let's put like the worst sounding thing possible in this budget that literally almost means nothing. Like, that's a great idea. Let's do that.
But what's weird is that I like. One of my coworkers, I found out about it today because it started getting real publicized today that she wanted to fucking get rid of the Special Olympics, and like half of my team at work was out volunteering at the Special Olympics.
Yeah. The vapor debate brings up a good point. So Trump did like walk it back, but I just think
I know she is walking it back. It's the double whammy because they're in Grand Rapids right now to me. That it's just like, all right, you're at Betsy DeVoss's home, and I know all of you are just doing this because you're pissed off that the Special Olympics happen in Lansing.
It's just
like they are that petty.
It's so much more chicken shit though to put something out there and be like, oh no, of course we didn't mean that. It was a policy decision drafted by our policy shop, but of course we didn't mean it. Like, it's just fucking insulting, right?
Yeah.
Well, I can somewhat buy that, but I don't want to. Because the one thing that the DeVoss is like the genuine only good thing the DeVosses have ever done was build a really good children's hospital in Grand Rapids. Anything else though? Because that's what people don't have. The DeVosses literally got all of their money by scamming people. They run a pyramid scheme. That is how Betsy DeVoss got rich.
We're gonna get sued.
A literal fucking pyramid scheme.
They run a multi-level marketing organization. We're gonna get sued.
That happened to come up after everyone in the state lost their job.
We're fine getting sued. We've got doctors.
Yeah.
They're welcome to take any portion of my negative net worth.
That's a fucking callback.
We got doctors, motherfucker.
We got doctors.
Yeah, I just like the way that these policy things are drafted. I just want to know like how that didn't raise some red flags when somebody looked at it, because they're like,
people didn't look through it.
Yeah, this is fine.
You have to remember, this is government. People don't read through this shit.
Well, okay, since she paid for a cabinet seat, rather her brother paid for it. Isn't like her brother or her brother-in-law also like Eric Prince, the guy from Blackwater? I thought they were related too.
I think she married into the multi-level marketing money.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure her family was involved in Blackwater.
Yeah, so like we're talking about a pretty good pedigree of completely dubious like late stage capitalism businesses, private armies, and fucking pyramid scams. So and
what I've always hated her current role of education is, okay, I lived in Grand Rapids for like 4 years. Those schools are dog shit. All of the private schools, dog shit. All of the public schools, dog shit. And she's gonna come in and try to tell people how to run a fucking school. It's mind-blowing to me, like actually having lived where she's from.
Well, you can substitute dollars for education in a specific subject. It's kind of a well-known fact.
Yep.
Like all of the schools in that area are fucking dog shit.
Like for every $10 million you have, that's equivalent to an extra degree in a subject area, and any subject area you want it to be in.
Yeah. I mean, okay, the DeVosses are some of those places that, like, when I was a young punk, I was totally fucking pissing on every building.
As opposed to being an old punk, I don't know the difference.
I don't get drunk and piss in public anymore.
Often.
Yeah.
Oh man, what's next on the fucking thing? The British Parliament is going to be discussing another referendum. I don't know if that happened today or if it's going to happen, in all honesty. I just remember that being big news.
They are so fucked. It's amazing.
So fucked. Along with that, fucking Theresa May is like holding her position hostage. She's like, once we leave Brexit, I'll step down. And everybody's like, hey, don't you step down now? Why don't you resign now?
Nobody has the balls to like actually pull the trigger. So like they voted, they essentially just have a loaded fucking gun sitting right there, and they're just arguing over who actually pulls the trigger. Like it is the dumbest, most, and I guess that's my watchword for today. Chicken shit. It's chicken shit.
But it's also great chicken shit because finally it's not us doing this chicken shit. So that's my takeaway is I'm finding not joy, but I'm at least enjoying that other countries are fucking up too. So I've been watching it a lot.
Like everybody's all for like this whole raw anti-globalist shit until like the fucking bill comes due. You know what I mean?
Well, it's that, but it's all of it is kind of. It's so interesting to me that they've gotten to this point they're just not going to go through it. They're going to have a second referendum and just not vote it through.
Yeah.
And that was obvious to me almost from the start, just because they got themselves into a position where the leader of the party for it immediately left.
Yeah, like everybody that was voting for it was like, I'm done.
Yeah, but like the leaders of like those movements were literally just gone. They were just like, we didn't think this was gonna happen. Okay, bye.
They got their fucking paycheck, dude. That's what it was. They got their fucking paycheck.
And then Theresa May's just holding her spot and is like trying to be forcibly resigned, et cetera, et cetera. It's interesting. And hopefully for like a lot of the kids there, they stay in the EU.
It's a fucked situation, but you know what? If they do go through Brexit, they'll still have memes. The EU has fucking banned memes, claiming that they're copyrighted material. So you can't post any sort of copyrighted material.
Yeah, they've only banned the copyrighted ones.
Well, I mean things that most memes come from like TV shows and shit.
Yeah, it's just like, and it's not like they're going to be going house to house and arresting people for posting fucking racist SpongeBob things. It's just they're going to have like fucking uploading content filters. And like, I get it that it's probably an overreaction at some point, but it's really hard to argue for the fucking meme lords at this point.
I like memes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
how they're dealing with it to me, because I'm going to argue for the meme lords, not even for the meme lords.
And it's YouTube's copyright policy to a fucking extreme. We've complained about YouTube's copyright policy a lot, but
it is partially that, but it's elements of that. It's how they're dealing with government regulation towards the internet that annoys the shit out of me and pisses me off. And it's the way that none of them understand how the internet works. But they're going to try to what the EU is currently trying to do is they're trying to take a rollout of China's playbook. China has made their own internet or their own ecosystem of the internet. The EU really heavily wants to do that as well and make their own branded little circle of the internet world as their own. And a lot of countries basically not outside of the US are trying to do that because right now the US has all of the power over the internet. Yeah,
but I mean, is the internet really a good thing?
Yeah. Honestly, unequivocally, yes. It does. Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. It does a lot of bad things, but like, yes, I'm gonna defend the internet because used correctly, it makes everyone so much fucking smarter. We've never had this type of power.
I'm just saying, like, in all the fucking William Gibson, like, neuromancer, cyberpunk, like, bullshit, nobody was looking forward to a future where people get radicalized by fucking racist frog pictures. You know what I mean? Like, the internet has some very specific limitations, and the fact that it is so open and so democratized, it's, like, I guess tying a bow on everything. It's the way that people have been, like, influencing the Brexit election, influenced the fucking 2016 presidential election, is because of that sort of, like, wide open, like, free flow information thing. And so, like, it's weird to me that we can, like, maybe people are just too dumb for the internet. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes and no. That is one of those ethical quandaries you do have to come across, of such open access to information, but to me at the same time you can't take that away. Like for me, like the having access to the internet, you now have like in a phone, you can just instantly actually research anything.
What?
That is such a power that I'm compelled to defend always.
Yeah, but like one of the biggest like actual knowledge bases is what, like Wikipedia, like that's like super fucking curated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's still a very curated experience. There's still a level of whether it's coming like from the actual site itself. There's like a content moderation thing, and I'm not sure that at this point I'm gonna sound super weird. At this point, I'm not sure if like that whole like it's like fucking 4chan versus Wikipedia, you know? And I'm all for the Wikipedia internet.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but
yeah,
that's why I'm saying like that it is a really big ethical question that makes it really hard. You have to try to make it so the Wikipedia does win out. You know what I mean? Versus 4chan, but at the same time, we're sitting here doing a stupid, shitty podcast on YouTube.
You're not wrong.
We can. Like
I said,
we couldn't have done this 20 years ago. We would have had to have applied to a TV network or a radio station, et cetera, and now we're just sitting here bullshitting and actually having these discussions.
Yeah, fuck you, Concrete.
No, like I'm not arguing that like something like what China is doing is good.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you to an extent. It is a big ethical question that you have to go through, and that's why I think the EU is trying to create their own ethical answer to so much openness. But hopefully not going the way of China. They're also trying to do it because that way they can try to take back economic power to themselves. Because like right now, let's be honest, if you're anywhere in the world that isn't China, you're probably going to buy something off of Amazon and go to YouTube. You're going to go to all of these American services. And that means all of the money is going to America. So the EU does want to an extent, does want to make their own little area of the internet where like, oh, if you are in the EU, you know, eventually you're going to go to France's Amazon thing instead of going to Amazon.com. .fr.
Yeah.
Amazon.fr. It's just a whole bunch of boxes of cheese and derision. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't want to be the one arguing against like the free exchange of ideas or whatever, but like that's the thing. Like, not, I guess, for somebody who was and still is sort of extremely online, but takes some extended breaks from it. Like, I find it weird the amount of stuff that's actually that I don't miss and how much of it is just shit to fill the time. Like, full respect to people who actually make content and like try to like push that forward, but at the same time, there's just that whole like lazy level of meta shit posting that does nothing but clog up people's brains and fucking turns them into drool.
That's the best shit. What the fuck are you talking about? That's the best shit.
Fucking shit posters unite over here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do feel like people need like the freedom to express themselves, but I don't necessarily think that a fucking corporation is obligated to have them on their platform. And I do feel like fucking...
Oh no, I mean they can cut whatever the fuck they want off their platform. I don't think like websites should be obligated to host shit that they don't want to host.
Yeah, and then
it goes along with the free internet thing. If you want a truly free internet, you got to find where your opinions are fucking accepted.
Yeah, and I think my problem with the whole Article 13 backlash or whatever is more rooted in my intrinsic sort of biases towards that like fucking shit posting rather than an actual like sound policy decision. I think I'm just thinking about it emotionally because I personally think that all the meme shit is just dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I'm terrible and biased, and everybody should get their fucking racist frog pictures back.
More racist frogs. That's what everybody needs.
Racist frogs for everybody, fucking miniature American flags for the rest.
Oh man, now what are we gonna do? Let's see. Cardi B. Someone dragged up a 3-year-old post of Cardi B, and now it's making a big problem because apparently Cardi B, when she was still a sex worker, which I don't know anyone who expected her not to have been a sex worker.
She talked about being a sex worker a lot.
Yeah. But what she didn't talk about a lot was the fact that she would drug and rob men after doing the deed. So a lot of people are calling for like investigations on her and for her to get. But their justification is really fucked because they're like, yo, y'all put Bill Cosby in prison. What about Cardi B? And I'm like, well, I mean, Bill Cosby was a prolific predator. Like he got enjoyment out of that. Cardi B was more doing it not from a position of power. Like she was in the opposite of a position of power. The problem with Bill Cosby was that he was in a position of power and he used that to prey on unwilling people. Cardi B was a sex worker that drugged and robbed people. If you expect a sex worker not to drug and rob you, I don't know what the fuck Candyland world you're living in.
Your name's Robert Kraft.
If only somebody had drugged and robbed Robert Kraft. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know how much of that is real and how much of it is just like the same fucking 4 like karma whores on Reddit posting about that shit.
No, like, it's Twitter. It was a lot of people on Twitter.
Oh, because I kind of feel like the Cardi B thing is like the fucking late March 2019 version of Does Anybody Else Think That Black Panther wasn't that good? Like, it strikes me as the same kind of like fucking urge of like.
But I love that South Park episode so much. God damn it, Token, admit it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's really, and first of all, she's a fucking like. She's a rapper. Like, nobody's calling for investigations on every other fucking rapper who claims to have done dirt.
I killed a motherfucker down in Flint, and they're like, "Yeah, man, sick beat." And she's like, "I drugged and robbed people," and everyone's like, "Get her!" I don't
like,
know.
it's.
I just think it's because she was doing it in Havana.
Dude, no, I honestly think like. To me, it has much less of an impact because, first of all, it wasn't from a position of power. As I stated, what Bill Cosby did, he was in a position of power, and he used that to prey on people, and he used that to coerce them into getting drugged to begin with, and then raping them. Whereas Cardi B would have sex with the men, and then she'd be like, time to get a little extra money, drug them, and then take all their shit. Like, that shit, I don't know.
I feel like this isn't going to be complete until we run a full investigation on Johnny Cash shooting a man in Reno just to watch him die.
Yeah.
Let's just run it back. Let's investigate all these motherfuckers. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's like punching a Nazi, man. Like, sure, in a vacuum, it's a bad thing, but
like no one's calling to investigate NWA because they said a man with a badge is just a target for my gat. Like, if you've listened to Fuck the Police, there's a lot of them saying, yeah, I kill police. That's what I do. I fucking kill police. And then repeating how much they kill police. Oh, don't worry, Indy. We're getting there. That's on the agenda. That's actually the last one on the agenda.
That is, yeah. How many more do we still have to go, though? Don't we still have like 5?
Okay, we covered Trump is using Erdogan's playbook. We covered DeVoss defunding Special Olympics. Trump investigation shows no collusion. That one piled in with Erdogan's playbook. We were able to do a twofer there. We were able to knock them both out.
Like the real thing about that is there's nothing else really to say than I want to see the fucking report dear everyone in Congress, get off your fucking gas. Let me see the report.
Yeah.
Like, if you're clean, you're clean. If you're not, you're not. Like, it's due process. Let me see the fucking report.
We covered Theresa May holding her job hostage. We covered the EU blocks memes. I added one. Oh, Trump's still talking shit on John McCain. Cardi B drugged and robbed mem. Now after this one, we're going on to synthetic alcohol. You guys hear about this shit?
Synthetic alcohol's been on and off for a while.
Well, apparently,
Are they getting farther?
There
into,
are
like,
quotes
making
that synthetic alcohol is going to be available to the public.
And you can take the pill afterwards. They'll sober you up.
No, apparently this synthetic alcohol doesn't give a hangover.
Okay.
Because it's not actually a poison. It's just I guess it'll be a mind-altering substance, which will immediately get fucking outlawed.
I don't know how much I trust it yet.
No doubt in my mind. Yeah, no, everyone was like, dude, this is weed that's not weed. And while we were smoking fucking K2.
All right, my only question: are the people into synthetic alcohol going to be as irritating as the fucking CBD people? Because if they are, just fucking ban it outright.
Fair.
But like, who would not be a binge drinker if like there just wasn't a fucking hangover?
There would still be less than the original idea for synthetic alcohol that like made it seem really cool to me, which was it's synthetic alcohol and then you can take a sober pill and you'll be sober. That to me is way more enticing. And
here we go in like Food and Wine magazine. In 2016, David Nutt, the director of neuropsychopharmacology at Imperial College London, was working on something called Alkosynth. He suggested that his synthetic alcohol could hit the market in as soon as 5 years, and he's already consumed it himself. They're allowed to try it whenever they want. Time for me to get into that neuropsychopharmacology department at the Imperial College in London.
It's not a relapse if it's science. Sign me the fuck up.
He mixes it with fruit juice to mask the taste, tested a lot of possible compounds to try and find which are most likely to work. It would be dishonest to spend millions of pounds on something when you haven't a clue if it does what you want. Damn. He moved forward on his dream to end hangovers. Tell me that isn't a fucking alcoholic dream. Tell me this guy doesn't have some shit going on when his dream is I'm gonna end hangovers.
His dream isn't I'm gonna find a hangover cure. It's I'm gonna make it so they don't happen in the first place.
Karl Marx said my dream is to overthrow the bourgeoisie and deliver power back to the people. This guy said, I don't want hangovers anymore.
That wasn't even so much Karl Marx's dream, too. Sorry, the works of Marx have always been misunderstood, in my opinion.
Bill Cosby's dream was, I want to drug and rape every starlet in Hollywood.
That probably was, though.
And this guy said, I just don't want to be tired after I drink.
Slancha.
You know, he said, I don't want to be tired after I drink anymore. I just spilled all over myself for that fucking bit. God damn it.
I don't know. Like, yeah, why wouldn't you just get fucking lit more frequently at that point?
I would.
Yeah, like but I mean, if it isn't a toxin anymore, like if it doesn't have the poisonous parts that give you the fucking hangover, then why not just get fucking blasted every time you don't have to drive a car?
Because I would have to see a lot. Well, I'd have to see a lot more work done into it to make sure it's not a toxin. I don't think I would be as quick to hit doing synthetic.
All right, we back in action.
I wouldn't like be as quick to go to synthetic alcohol as I was to like quit smoking.
Martin Luther King said, "My dream is that a man will be judged by the quality of his character and not the color of his skin." And this guy said, "Oh man, I really hate throwing up the morning after I drink."
Like, do you think that alcohol poisonings would go up? Does it still have the stuff in it that make you want to throw up, or is it literally just like instant brain fog?
Can you get as fucked up as you want? I don't know. That's the worry, because if you don't have that hangover dissuading you from getting absolutely fucking rowdy.
How rowdy do you get?
How rowdy? That's a real philosophical question, Jerry. How rowdy do you get?
Yeah.
Actually, Concrete, you weren't here
Is
for our
every
last
day
philosophical
like you're
question.
21 again, listening to blasting out some Rancid, and you just got a bat in your hands? Like, let's go.
Back to
Concrete.
Olympia.
Concrete,
Yeah.
you weren't here for our last philosophical question. This one, I think you'd enjoy much, right? So, if you see shit in a pool, all of that water is shit. It doesn't matter if someone scoops that shit out. You're not going to go swimming in that pool because it's all shit. Like, it makes that water essentially is now shit. It's poop, right?
Not really. I mean, like, they have
Oh,
chlorine
this
and
one.
shit in
Yes,
pools. And
yes. But if that shit's just sitting in there and you see that shit, are you going to be like, hey, scoop that out so I can go swimming? Or are you going to go, I'm good. I'll put my swim trunks off. I'll take my swim trunks off and put my pants back on.
Like, I want to say that I'd be level-headed enough to be like, well, the entire world is covered in a thin film of shit. As long as you scoop out the offending log, you're good.
That's where we're going. But you know deep down that you'd go, what if I get that water in my mouth? And what if that was just that section of water that the shit was touching? See, you do that. And also, think about your toilet, right? Your toilet is flushed with clean water, but it's had shit in it. And you're not going to drink your toilet water because of the chance of there being, because now all the water that's ever going to touch your toilet is shit. But the ocean is full of shit. However, we still go into the ocean and still consider the ocean to be water. At what point does a body of water get big enough that there can be shit in the water, but you don't care?
I mean, I don't swim because fish fuck in there. So
that's why fish fuck. I'm not out of like a disgust thing, but more of a common courtesy.
Yeah, like I don't want to. Yeah,
you're like I don't want someone showing up in a fucking bathing suit in my bedroom. Like no, I don't. But think about it, right? And it goes deeper. There are levels to this, right? Because you'll swim in a lake where you know there's shit. However, if you're at that lake and you see someone go out on a pier and drop a fucking deuce into this lake, you're gonna go, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna swim in there.
I mean, I'd still probably swim in there. Like, it's a lake. Like I think at a certain point that entire, like, just
Where's that
reassuring
point?
knowledge. Yeah.
Where's that point? That's the question.
Now,
that is the question here.
No, that's not the question. That is the false question. That is still a lead-up question. The point he's trying to eventually get to.
Where's the shit?
No, he wants to know how much shit have you eaten in your lifetime.
Oh,
yeah.
We already talked about that. Remember,
Yeah,
it was like
yeah,
probably in the tens of pounds.
Yeah, we've probably eaten our body weight in poop already.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think kiddie pool is probably my cutoff. I think if it was like a normal swimming pool and somebody fished something out.
Well, is it because of the size of the kiddie pool, or is it because a larger pool is usually filtered? See, because then it might not be the amount of water. Think about a pool that's not filtered. If it was like a saltwater pool, right? It's a saltwater pool. The filter's turned off. Hasn't been running for a while. They're closing it for the season. They're just like, one last party, get in. So first person to get in drops a D and gets out, right? Are you going to let them just scoop that out, not turning on the filter, not running chemicals, nothing, and then go swimming again?
I don't think I could do it right after, but I think if you gave me a couple hours, I'd be like, yeah, fine, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the limit wouldn't be a kiddie pool, because you see that shit and you consider that water to be shit at first.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think there's that like initial revulsion aspect of it, but I mean, maybe in a couple of minutes, common sense takes hold, or maybe that initial revulsion. Like, I'm never like, fucking, you know what I need to do? I need to go for a swim. Like, it doesn't take me all that much to push me over into the mode of, yeah, I'd rather not go swimming. That's fine.
Yeah. So another thing this brings up that I just read. Well, I read something in the chat that made me think about it. But you know, like water parks, right? They're full of Chinese tourists. Every water park you go to has a shit ton of Chinese tourists, does it not?
I don't think I've ever seen like large concentrations of Chinese tourists at the couple water parks I've been to, but
well, trust me, they're there. You just haven't seen them then. Now, when it comes to that, what is the one thing that every Chinese tourist lacks?
American citizenship.
Boundaries, right? They'll shit anywhere. If they gotta go, they gotta go. That's how Chinese tourists work. They don't fucking respect the place that they go to. You can call me wrong. You can call me racist all you want, but it's proven that like when Chinese tourists get in mass, they get this mob mentality where they're like, fuck the place we're going. But on to the question. Why does it never occur to us that there is someone working at every water park to scoop the shit out of those pools? You know there's someone that whose job is to watch and make sure that no turd goes noticed in those fucking pools. There's no way no one's shitting in the wave pool.
I think it's just I think it's part of other duties is assigned, you know, for like normal employees. I don't think they have like fucking Gary the shit guy at the water park, you know what I mean?
Then you would be wrong. They've got to have Gary the shit guy. Because if you're working at a fucking amusement park, you're making minimum wage being a fucking lifeguard at the wave pool. Are you going to scoop shit out of a pool if your fucking manager tells you to?
I mean, probably.
That's what I'm getting paid for, I guess.
No, I would not.
I would
Not
try
for
to find
fucking
it
minimum wage. I'm not handling human waste for minimum wage. That was my big
Like,
thing.
I'm
That was my
assuming
big thing when I
they
worked
have
in
some
fast
sort of
food.
net.
Because someone blew up the fucking bathroom, and my manager tried to go, you need to go clean that. And I went, I get paid $7.35 an hour. You need to fucking clean that. And he went, you make a good point. And then he told someone else to clean it. but like that was my whole thing is like I'm making minimum wage. I'm not trained to handle human waste. They don't give me the proper PPE to handle human waste. I'm not cleaning up shit all over the floor in this fucking bathroom. I'm sorry. And so they've got to have Gary the shit guy.
Gary the shit guy. I bet Gary's super interesting. I want to see a movie about Gary the shit guy, but like really operatic, like a fucking Paul Thomas Anderson.
Rob Schneider is Gary the shit guy.
I was thinking the movie had already been made, but okay.
No, like
I'm not going to say what I was actually thinking.
There's a couple different treatments for that. You do have the broad comedy feature, but I want to see like the dramatic study of a man whose job it is to scoop shit up. You know what I mean? Like I want to feel his emotional depth.
Can we get like an Ice Road Truckers for Gary the shit guy?
I mean, probably.
You
could put it on one of the weird internet networks.
Also, could we get reality TV in that style for jobs that like we actually fucking care about? Who thought, man, I really wonder what fucking crab fishers do on a day-to-day basis. I'll answer that question for you. Fucking no one. You can stop there. Fucking no one cared. But like undertakers or people who work in a mortuary. Like
that's kind of interesting. I mean, I'm just saying if there's a reality show about Gary the shit scooper, you know there's going to be like 0.001% of the population that's super into it and just pounds off furiously while that show's on. And that's
definitely
not to make it.
There, in high school, we had this kid we'd always pick on because that was his dream. That was his dream job. He wanted to become a janitor, so we always called him the little janitor.
But I mean, he wasn't pounding off to the idea of being a janitor.
No, he was. He literally would follow our janitor, like the school's janitor, around trying to like learn the trade.
I mean, good for him for having the initiative.
Yeah, I guess so.
But like,
I mean, you
let's-
gotta love what you do.
let's get some job related fucking reality TV on jobs that are actually fucking interesting. Like, let's follow a fucking zoologist for a day, a person who works at the zoo and feeds the fucking animals.
No, because then they'll cut in a whole bunch of reality show drama about which fucking ape hates the other ape.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You'll always have that.
I don't know. This is what the
out
Discovery
into
Channel was
time.
made for before it was fucking all shitty. If we could see what a fucking zoologist does, if we could see like an actual archaeologist on a fucking dig where they're actually out there discovering shit.
I would kill for there to be old school History Channel back.
Okay, but like I feel like you grossly overestimate how interesting like an archaeologist's job is, because I'm assuming 98% of their time is completely fucking boring, and then they chip something out and stare at it for a couple minutes and send some
a museum curator then.
Digging the fucking hole in the ground.
Let's do a
Someone
museum.
who has dug a hole in the ground. It sucks.
Let's
It's boring.
follow a museum curator. You know, because they're essentially doing archaeology, but they don't do any of that boring shit. The archaeologists bring that shit to them, and they go, "This is cool. Let's put it in the museum. This is cool. Let's buy it for the museum."
But then half of the 75%, 80% of the show isn't going to be them talking about cool exhibits. It's going to be them like fucking filing paperwork and like sending memos about the donuts in the break room.
They did it. Live PD isn't like that. They managed to make live PD super interesting, and that's actually following fucking cops. Whereas a cop's job, like, sure, he's out on patrol a lot of the time.
Well, yeah,
but
but
every
then
one of those
that's
calls he's got to do fucking paperwork about.
That's like all of cops is basically thanks to Texas and Michigan. Like, the cops TV show would be boring as fuck if we didn't have basically Houston, Austin, Detroit, Flint, and Chicago, because that's almost where all of those shows are from.
Yeah.
Probably have some interesting interpretations of one-party consent there too. So
I think they should do they could do well if they covered like fucking interesting jobs that people actually care about, not fucking people who work at Sir Restaurant. And my wife's been watching Vanderpump Rules, so it's just, I'm like, why the fuck do I care what waiters are doing? I know what waiters do. They wait on tables. That's what they fucking do. Why the fuck do I care?
Well, you care because they're all trying to fuck each other.
Dude, also, yes. Like, watching that show, I'm like, yo, this is like the 80s AIDS scare. Just over 6 seasons. This explains
Everybody's getting STDs.
Yeah, this explains the 80s AIDS scare, because they're fucking everybody. This dude's in a relationship with this chick, and then he cheats on her with this chick who's in a relationship with these two dudes who are actually engaged to the same girl. Like, yo, how the fuck don't you all have like super AIDS or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I still don't really want to see a show about Gary.
Yeah, I think Sin brought up a good point. That's Dirty Jobs.
Okay, Dirty Jobs is fucking... Yeah, Dirty Jobs is its own kettle of fish.
I'll
it's
take
great.
that. Yeah,
Like that's basically what that show was. It was about Gary.
That show was a bunch of fucking bootstrap propaganda from fucking corporate overlords. Kill your masters, people. These people aren't to be celebrated. Your employer should be scared of you.
Also,
not
isn't
the
Mike
other way
Rowe like
around.
alt-right now?
I don't know about alt-right, but his everything after Dirty Jobs has had a lot of really interesting corporate money and fucking.
Oh yeah, no, he
feminist
loves
insults, you know.
Ford. He really loves Ford.
I mean,
They
if
give you
they
a bunch
paid
of
me
videos with
if they paid me
Prager
millions of dollars, I'd fucking love Ford too.
Oh, also, Sin was trying to tell me that metformin's a miracle drug. I don't believe it. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna stick with my colloidal silver.
Adderall. Adderall's a miracle drug.
I was thinking heroin, but yeah, no. Adderall and heroin
I
together.
am interested in this, but I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to go steal my dad's metformin because it keeps him alive.
Okay.
Just shave a little bit off the top.
I gotta get going pretty quick here, but I did have one random observation from my time in the wilderness that I wanted to run by you guys because Colt, especially, I know that you like some sci-fi, right? Okay. I was having an argument. Can you name one like futuristic sci-fi thing that isn't dystopian that's also capitalist?
No.
Like Star Trek was the only like optimistic version of the future that I came up with, and like Star Trek is hard fucking like post scarcity, like they don't have like fucking money or anything, and that's the only optimistic sci-fi I could think of.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm trying to think. Futurama.
Yeah, but there's a lot of ways in which Futurama is kind of a hellscape.
You're not wrong.
I mean, yeah, most of it.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Well, no, well,
also
Futurama, no, Futurama to an extent. That's the weird thing is a lot of them are also quasi-Marxist, quasi-capitalist.
Yeah. Also, on that note, though,
the idea of Marxist is eventually we're in 2,000 years in the future we're one country.
Yeah. You haven't been around since I started reading again, Concrete. I've been reading a lot of sci-fi and fantasy, like a lot.
I didn't know you could read.
I didn't know either until I tried, and then I was like, "Whoa, this is a thing." But no, like what's fucking Brandon Sanderson. I've been reading pretty much all of the Cosmere series, the Cosmere collection. I finished all the books that are out on what is it? What's the fucking series? The Words of Radiance series. Way of Kings series. God damn it, I can't think of the series.
Wheel of Time.
Now I'm reading because Brandon Sanderson, that's not his series. He just finished the series 4. Yeah. No.
No, that's what I was saying. It's not the Wheel of Time, but he also did part of that.
No, it came up because like I was hanging out with the girlfriend and we were watching Ghost in the Shell, right? Like the fucking Scarlett Johansson version, whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it was fine.
Honestly, no, that's the same. I thought, like, I didn't get the hate for that movie. I thought it was fine. And I'm sorry, sure, ScarJo is a not Asian lady. ScarJo's hot as fuck. Just let it go.
No, but it came up because, like, we also watch, like, a ton of, like, horror films. Like, that's kind of our genre, right? And I just kind of made, like, the connection that I find sci-fi so much scarier than I find horror. And I was like trying to like run through like why the future scares me so much. And I was like going through and I was like, I think anytime that I see a capitalist depiction of the future, it's inevitably a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're no longer in the age of the Jetsons, unfortunately.
Yeah, like the Jetsons was fine, but yeah.
but no, I've been reading the Mistborn series. It's the Stormlight Archive. This is the series that I am caught up on. But no, it's weird how much I'm enjoying reading, because reading's for nerds. Everyone knows that. Reading's for fucking nerds.
I've been I haven't been doing any reading because reading is for nerds, but I have had a whole lot of windshield time lately, and I've been catching up on some audiobooks that I meant to that I've been meaning to get through for a long time. I finally decided I was going to go ahead and bite the bullet and do the fucking Dark Tower series by Stephen King, and so far it's kind of a pleasant surprise. I expected it to be goofy, but it's been fun.
Nice. Yeah. If what I find like makes drives go by quick, and it's weird because I wasn't really into it until I started like driving and taking trips with my wife, but like D&D podcasts, because they it takes up a lot of time, but the time is so filled with like things actually happening. Like even them like rolling dice, you're waiting to see what's going on with that dice roll and then the fight and all that shit. but it takes like an hour and a half to do 30 minutes of what like a regular anthology series would do.
I think the only one I've ever listened to is The Adventure Zone, and that was sort of by osmosis because the girlfriend listens to everything.
Dude, The Adventure Zone's fantastic.
Do.
The Adventure Zone is fantastic. The first
You're in
one.
that boat
I'm not a fan of the second Adventure Zone.
I'm also in that boat.
Dude, the McElroy brothers are fucking hilarious. All right.
They are, but everything is now the McElroy brothers, and I'm just sitting here like the only thing I want to hear is about the fucking the good little ranchos. That's it.
Talk about a weird niche where like the McElroy brothers aren't known. You don't know about them anywhere else. But I can almost assure you that you've heard one of their voices.
You probably heard one of their voices or know some of their work. Cause like, what
they're,
one of them?
They're
one
podcast
of them
royalty.
The podcasts are all up there. D&D stuff, sure, like that's what's popular now. But it like all of them for a long time too. Like, they made fucking Polygon.
Dude, yeah, they made Polygon
box networks that are like huge.
Bim Bam was huge.
Fucking Monster Factory. That's how I got introduced to them for the first time. And then fucking Carboys.
Even their dad. Their dad was a radio personality for like 35 years.
He still is, technically.
Clint McElroy.
Smaller aspect, but yeah, no. I can't hate them. They're funny.
I do miss Carboys. Granted, they only had one McElroy in it, but Carboys is quite possibly the best thing ever put on the internet.
Yeah, like they have
watched that.
No,
I did.
Carboys?
Yeah, like they have like a small. Yeah. They have a small hand in a lot of things. So you probably have seen them at some point, which is crazy to me.
And it's weird seeing like an entire family just be so successful in everything that they do.
And they're not conventionally interesting to look at or listen to, or like they're weird fucking dudes.
Honestly, cool. It's like fucking Wayne's family. When I was at Wayne's wedding, it was fucking weird because like his brother's doing stand up in LA, being able to at least make a living doing that. His other brother is like doing some sort of art website, and he's also like an amateur rapper and like doing well with that. And then there's Wayne, who just decided, fuck it, let's get into vaping, and made a living off of that. And it's like, how the fuck do you raise 3 successful children?
You don't. That's why you only have one.
It's weird. It's so weird seeing that like no one in the family is like, you're the weak link. We should probably keep you hidden. No one's the fucking Kennedy sister that had autism.
Got locked in a closet. Fucking Rosemary, wasn't it? And then she got lobotomized.
Yeah, Yeah, she was gay, autistic, and then they lobotomized her.
Yeah, which is a pretty good. See, we're tying bows on things. Special Olympics, man.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh. That's a callback.
Yeah, see, I got all the fucking callbacks. No, so thank you for letting me vent my weird sci-fi observation, but I realized that and it terrified me to my very core.
Yeah.
So.
Also, we're gonna be doing another D&D show here soon. I'm just waiting for Verve to prep the I guess campaign, the story for us, because he's gonna be doing the DMing, but it's gonna be in a high school setting, so you should make that one.
I am pretty much in the wind for the entire month of April.
I don't know what that implies.
It means that I am going to not have regular access to a computer, and I'm perfectly okay with that, but you should definitely enjoy your D&D.
I'm still going to try.
Yeah.
To get you.
I probably won't be around on Thursdays.
I'm still going to try.
Also, I'll probably be dead. I need to just keep on coming up with excuses here.
When are you going to quit your job is what I want to know. When do you quit?
I should be, it kind of depends. I got a whole bunch of shit scheduled for April. I'll probably be finishing it out in early May, so maybe the middle of May.
Okay. I'm okay with this. I can wait until then for you.
When the fuck are you moving?
I have to be in Germany by the end of September.
So we're gonna have one last glorious summer together.
Yep. The
It's
summer
gonna be
of love.
romantic as fuck.
Oh yeah, you know it. No fucking doubt.
No, like for all of the just randomly disappearing off the face of the earth, I do have to say it's been really refreshing not being constantly hooked into the internet, and I need to figure out a better balance for when I'm done.
And being separated from vaping. It's really nice.
You know, it's funny. I kind of have, like, I think I developed imposter syndrome with vaping because, like, the more I did it, like, the weirder I got about talking about it, and the less I'm convinced that anybody should listen to a fucking word I have to say about anything.
Yeah. It's that's also like the Dunning-Kruger effect, where like the more you know about it, the more you realize like I don't know shit about this.
Well, yeah, that's everyone. Everyone goes through
And
imposter syndrome.
God, I hate how
Well,
it's
okay. Let me put that. Everyone who's intelligent, somewhat intelligent, goes through imposter syndrome at some point.
Well, then why am I going through it?
Take-
Fuck you, Jerry.
Take a look at the fucking president.
No, but that's like that's the weirdest fucking thing about like theoretically like going into a field and like doing all the work and stuff is just like eventually I kind of became convinced like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Neither do I. But now, after you give it more time, you start realizing, oh, you do, because then you go back to ELR and are like, oh.
I try not to go back to ELR. That's why fucking Q needs to fix his goddamn website.
Dude, I don't
True.
know. He's busy as fuck. He hasn't even been in the private chat, which,
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't even been in the private chat. The least you can do is fucking hop on roaming every now and again.
And just go ahead and send a picture of my balls and call it good.
Let us
Yeah.
know you're fucking alive, yeah.
That my testicles are still attached because that's about the only fucking check you're gonna get.
Let us see them pretty peaches, boy.
They look nothing like what you'd expect.
All right, if Concrete's gonna get off, then we're gone. I don't want it to.
Yeah.
It'll just be me and
I
Jerry.
don't want him to get off either. I've missed Rick so much. He can't leave.
Man,
Come on, talk, pop off.
I just it's. I think me and Jerry, like, I don't know, cause like
We would just play golf or
like Matt turns on like the good points, but he doesn't.
I'm just here to get drunk.
Yeah, Concrete's got that comedic effect.
I'm mostly here to fill space, but like in a
Yeah.
pleasurable way. That's what I tell the ladies.
Yeah, and we're
There you
like
go.
Graham says the outlandish shit, and then Alicia's just there.
Graham says the outlandish
Yeah,
shit,
just-
and then his internet shits the bed, and who knows?
Yeah, he says the outlandish shit, and then his internet shits the bed, so he can't explain it. And everyone goes, "What the fuck did he mean by that?"
Every fucking third word he just chops in and out, and it's just even worse than if you heard the entire thing.
But no, I miss the balance we had with Rick.
I just miss Rick.
Yeah.
It's really not the end of the world. Eventually, I think I'll probably like I have a stack of shit that I need to get done. It's just not going to happen in the next month.
That's fair. But I mean, I'll just throw this out there. Even my girlfriend, who has never met you, said, "Oh my God, yeah, we should go visit him."
That's gay.
I mean, I'm into it if you are.
So that I'm just letting you know how much you loved.
Oh, and thank you, Indy's Best. I love you too. And yeah, I try to make decent content when I can. But yeah, it's just been kind of a slog. But like I said in the chat, I really do appreciate the support from everybody. It's not about anybody in particular. It's just like my brain burning out and me getting all existential about things and also being busy. So,
But that's fun. Well, sort of.
although I did get a weird message about the Illuminati, so I do
Ooh.
want to say something.
I think I remember that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's get into story time. Let's
It's
hear this.
okay. It's okay.
So are you a part of it, or
No,
is someone
I
from them
believe
contacting?
someone tried to recruit you into the Illuminati or some shit on ELR on ATF.
No, that I can't talk about it too much. I do want to say.
Did you accept?
3 fingers up, man. 3 fingers up.
Are you leaving Alturna for the Illuminati?
Dude, you can't leave Alturna.
Yeah, I'm starting a new juice line called Baphomet Brews. It's gonna be awesome. Which is totally something I'd like to do. So yeah, if anybody's into some mild Satanism and e-liquid mixing and they have a lot of money, hit me up.
No, I'm pretty sure I remember this. It was you got invited to the Illuminati on ELR along with like 2 other people. I don't know.
That's a different story, and that's a better one.
Oh man. God damn, you can't just leave us with a teaser like that and then be gone for a month.
Yeah, no, I've been working for the Illuminati. I've been in charge of fluoridation for the Illuminati, so I've just been driving up and down the West Coast dumping mind control chemicals in water supplies.
Dude, that's a good job though. That's important.
Yeah, great benefits too, although I do have to sacrifice my firstborn.
That's a lot different from driving a dairy truck that I figured you were doing. Actually, you seem exactly like the type of guy I would imagine driving a dairy truck.
I can imagine him
like
driving a ride truck though.
He's got the dairy truck.
No, the dairy thing is just a cover for the massive mind control fluoridation project. Yeah, and I just dress up in like the old school 1950s milkman uniform, but instead I'm pumping poison into the water supply.
But it does clean their teeth, so feel good about yourself.
Yeah. So you'll have strong teeth and also be at our complete beck and call.
I would, from years of smoking, I would happily join this program.
Well, on that note, I need to get back to my Bilderberg meeting.
All right. Well, I guess that'll end the show then. Hey, Concrete, don't be a stranger.
I will do my level best.
Thank you for coming on.
We miss you. Just
that was the best surprise of my week.
So we were just hanging out like, all right, let's fucking do this show, and then Concrete comes on, and we went, let's do the show.
I can't deal with that level of expectations.
No, it's not even that was why it was so perfect. We were like, before you came on, both Colt and I are sitting here like looking at the news of the week of like, fuck.
Like, damn, news
everything
is
about doing this show.
And then you came on and we went, life isn't all that bad. It could be worse. You're a great example to us of how life can be worse.
Thank you. Because if you can't be an example, you might as well be a cautionary tale, right?
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
All right. That's the show, guys. Here's the outro music. Here's the outro music. We'll see you guys next week.
Wait. Here's the outro music.
Here's the outro music.
Here's the outro music.
I paused it for you, Jerry.
I figured it.
You raised expectations.
Wait, you did.
Where's the outro music? You don't control the fucking outro music, Jerry. I do. Here's the outro music, guys.
No, but we always talked over it, so.
Know your place.
Shout out to M. Grimes. I'm drinking Stone Tropic of Thunder Lager because fuck Stone IPA.